Just Incredible here, bringing you a Mega Man X2 speedrun tutorial on Flame Stag. This tutorial for the stage will cover both routes, Ostrich Third and Stag Third, but the Buster Duel fight only applies for Stag Third. This is the first of the three major climbing stages in the game, with Counter Hunter 1 and Counter Hunter 3 being the other two. So right off the bat, we have a pretty big climbing section coming up here. So when you teleport in, you can either hold L to buffer a weapon swap to strike chain, or you can switch to that before you start your climb. But either way, you want to dash off your starting platform and land on this lower platform and then dash jump off. And then in midair, you want to shoot a strike chain and pull yourself to the wall, and then you're going to start your climb. Now, once you fire your chain, you're going to also charge up for a charge strike chain when you reach the top. And as I've noted here, how many jumps and what type of jumps to do for each ledge as you climb up. So as soon as you grab the wall, you should be able to do 3 full jumps to reach the next ledge. And then for here, you want to do about a half jump, then do 1 full jump to reach the next ledge after that. And then for the next 2 ledges, 1 half jump, and then 2 full jumps with full height should get you up to the top. And then once we reach the top here, you want to turn around, then release your charge strike chain, then dash jump straight out to the left. And the strike chain should grab this wall here, and then as soon as you grab the wall, you want to double kick, switch to your spin wheel, fire a wheel, and then charge, and then jump to the sub-tank. And when you reach the sub-tank, you want to land on this ledge below it, and then jump up into the sub-tank. So that's how the first section should go. So I'm going to play this a few times. So there's the chain, and I'm already starting to charge up the strike chain. And there's the double kick. I swap to wheel, fire a wheel, and then hold charge. There's a backup strat if you miss the strike chain, which I'll cover that at the very end of the tutorial. It's too big of a hassle to try to cover that now, so I'll cover that at the very end. So there's 1, 2, 3 jumps, 1 jump and a half jump, or I'm sorry, a half jump then a full jump there. There's the half jump then the full jump. There's a half jump and 2 full jumps. And then I repeat that again for the last section, and then release and jump. So one more time. Now, as soon as you grab the sub-tank, you want to keep holding your charge, and then hold the opposite direction so you can keep moving. Because you're actually still in your dash jump animation, and for 1 frame, you can actually move without grabbing the wall. So by buffering the right input, you don't grab the wall and you don't have to re-dash jump. Like that. So after that comes the next part. So you're still holding your charge, and as you approach this ledge here, at the very end of the ledge you just got on, you're going to dash jump off with full height, and you'll land on the top of the ledge you just released the strike chain from. And you're going to dash into this small little platform, and you're going to release the wheel, charge, and then dash jump. So you're not stopping here when you do that. And the reason why is because when this wheel releases the 8 spokes that go in every direction, you need to keep this southeastern spoke on screen, because you're going to follow it, and if you follow it, you'll take out these 3 enemies before you get to the lava climb. So there's the release. So a release, and I drop down, and then that spoke takes out those 3 enemies. Also, when I fall down after releasing the chain or the charge wheel, I don't move left or right, because if you do that when you have a lot of sprites on screen, it causes a bit of a lag. So you just wait until you get down almost to the ledge, and then you can move. So right there, I released the wheel and then I dash jumped before I got caught by the wall, the little wall here. And that takes those guys out. So now we're going to start talking about the lava climb. Let me zoom this in a little bit. So the green path is obviously the path you want to take when you do this climb. Now at the very start, you want to try to get a double kick off of this side or this side of the shaft as you climb. Doing so will get you enough height from one of those, which will get you up to this ledge. It's not a big deal if you don't get it, but it just helps with optimizing your climb. So as you climb up, you're just going to come right back to this side. If you don't get the double kick, you're going to be lower than what the line is showing. So if you get to here and you're not on the ledge, you can actually come up here and make the dash jump that way. But eventually you will end up corrected once you get to this ledge, because you have to be for the setup for the next double kick here by the heart tank. So once we get to this ledge, before the ledge with the heart tank, you want to dash jump and then double kick to get up to here. Without the double kick, you'll have to kick off the side of the ledge. But then once you get to the top here, dash jump and fire a wheel at the top of your jump, and that should kill this bar wing, which will get you to the heart tank. So I'm going to play the lava climb a few times also. Now see, I got the double kick off the first wall, and I was able to make that ledge jump. And see, I'm able to reach the ledge where the weapon capsule is in 3 jumps. So double kick, I got it, 1, 2, 3. And see, all the jumps are nice and full, and I'm able to reach all the ledges without touching the sides. And then once I get to this one, I double kick, and it gets me up to the ledge where the bar wing is, and then the wheel just takes care of the rest. And then after I shoot the wheel, I'm holding charge for the next part of the route through the stage. If you're doing ostrich third and you do this route, you'll have the air dash boots, and it can be a little tricky if you don't do dash then jump, and if you do jump then dash, you'll have air dashes, and that just messes up your climb. So boom. So we're going to stop there, and we're going to move on to the next section. So once you climb out of the volcano, you should have a charge strike chain ready as you do the series of dash jumps through the top here. And then once you reach this third pillar, you're going to dash jump off the side and release the chain simultaneously. So the chain will extend and grab the wall here, and then you can climb out with one jump. That's all it should take. So once you start from the heart, you want to just do a zigzag, because that sets you up pretty good to land on this ledge right here as you jump out, and just do a series of dash jumps. You don't want to dash on the ground, because that creates dust sprites, and that could lag the game a little bit. So you just want to try to just do dash jumps without any time on the ground as much as you can. So we do the zigzag and just dash jump. You can dash on the ground a little bit. It's no big deal. But if you do that with a lot of enemy sprites or just sprites in general, it will lag a little bit. And then dash, jump, and then release and jump at the same time, and you see one jump gets you into the next volcano. So the next section, simple dash jumps is all you need for these pillars, and you're going to stay on strike chain for the final climb. But once you get to the first jump here, you need to be at the very edge of this ledge, because a full height dash jump will carry you all the way to this the second pillar of the 5. If you cut off your height early, you won't make it and you'll end up on the side. And these pillars fall as soon as you touch them, so you have to keep moving through this section. So this is a full height dash jump. Now this one here from 3 to 4 is just a very short height. So as soon as you jump, you just let off the jump button and you're going to fall to this one. And this is a full height, and this is a full height. And then once you get to the end, you want to chain, and you're going to start the final climb, which is really the big part of this stage. But before we get there, here's this section. As you see, I jumped all the way off the edge of that platform. There's the short hop, jump, and then chain, and that starts the final climb section. So I'm going to stop it there, and then I'll show the final climb visual aid. Alright. So this is the final climb. So you need to be able to dash jump as soon as you land from one ledge to the next. And there's a couple of times where you'll be kicking or wall kicking off the sides. You won't be on a ledge to actually jump off of. So you have to ad-lib it, I guess, if you want to call it that. So this bottom part is from the chain, and then you're just gonna do full height dash jumps and just go from left to right as needed. Now once you get so far, you're gonna start seeing some Morgans appear, and those are the little flaming squirrels that can get in your way. You should be able to do this climb without colliding into any of them, but if you're starting out, you will encounter some trouble with them. But once you practice it, you should be able to get through them just fine. We'll go over the bottom half. So basically up to before the numbered kicks I've got listed. So here we go. We got, as you see, all these jumps are full jumps, and for that little short jump there on the right, it's just a very tiny dash jump to get on the ledge, and you want to try to stay off the actual wall as much as possible, because that's more distance you have to jump to get from one ledge to the next. And there's where the first Morgan appears that can potentially get in your way. And also they'll light the gas jets on fire. So there's one in particular at the top that matters, because sometimes it'll light and it'll block your way. But I'll cover that in just a moment. But as you see, that's the bottom half, or the bottom third of the climb. And then I'll stop it at the double kicks, or just before it. Okay. That's a good pause, because you can see the moment where I land and I'm about ready to jump again as soon as I unpause it. So going back to the visual aid. So I'm right here on the video. What's going to happen now is I'm going to dash jump, and obviously I can't reach the ledge. I'm going to grab the side of it, do one jump, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to jump straight up and actually grab the wall here and double kick, because a double kick will get you to this ledge. Just another wall jump won't do it. So you have to double kick to actually get it. And once I land on that ledge, I'm not going to be dash jumping. I'm just going to hold right and just do 3 normal jumps. So it's 1, 2, 3. And then another wall jump will get up to this part where I'm parallel with the capsule. So here is the double kick section. Let me scroll it back correctly. Here we go. Now that jump I didn't quite get, but the other 2 I got just fine. And remember, you just hold right and jump. You don't do any dash jumps for those 3. Double kick, it's supposed to be jump, jump, jump. Jump, double kick, jump, jump, jump. And then, as you can see, this Morgan coat that just showed at the top is a annoying one. And you could potentially bonk on that one. So after... Okay, here's the very last slide. So, as you dash jump from the left side, to get from this top ledge to the wall above it, you just want to jump out just a little bit and then turn around and grab. You don't dash jump this one. You just want to do a normal jump. And just barely grab the bottom of it, because if you can actually grab too high, or if you're too late on the jump, you'll run into the Morgan that's going to swoop down on that wall. So once you get there, you want to dash jump over, fire a chain to pull you over to the ledge, and you may land on the ledge, and that's perfectly fine, because then you're going to do full height dash jump wall kicks. You're going to do 1, 2, 3, and that should get you up to this ledge right here. And then you want to start a buster charge. So you have to weapon cancel off of the chain after you shoot it, or just swap a couple times to get off buster. And then what I do a buster charge. I start a buster charge at this ledge. And if you do this climb right, you actually spawn the Morgan later, and you won't light this flame jet. This is what the flame jet I was talking about earlier, that you need to do the climb correctly to not trigger. If the Morgan comes in late, or if you don't get high enough, the Morgan is already spawns and he'll swoop down and light this jet, and you have to for it to expire or damage boost your way through it and try to climb out. But if you do the buster charge strat correctly, you start your charge, and if you jump optimally, you'll reach your single full charge right here, and you'll release it into the wall. And the Morgan that comes down, the very last one, he'll come to hit the flame jet, but he gets destroyed by the buster before he can light it, and you can continue on. Some people just like to bonk into it, which is fine also. I just like to kill it because I just hate it. So we'll cover that, and then we'll cover up the setup for the buster duel. So as you see, I barely jump out. Yeah, there's 2 Morgans there. The first one you jump over because he comes right down on you. But the second one, if you jump late or you jump too high, if you're too high on that wall grab right there, you'll bonk into him. Let me see if I can start it a little earlier and get a jump on the boom. I barely jump on the bottom part of this wall. That way, when I come dash jump out and shoot the chain, the Morgan's not going to hit me because I'm already low enough that even with the chain, I grab the wall. If you jump all the way up, or if you grab a little higher and do a jump, you'll get knocked into him, which sucks. So continuing on, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 jumps, and as you see, I've already started a buster charge there. So 1, 2. Now this jump here, you don't have to actually turn around you can actually just keep holding against the wall, and as long as you're doing full height dash jumps, you'll kick yourself out far enough and you'll grab the overhang. And then I come over to the other side, and then as you see, I'm about ready to release the Buster Charge. In this case, I took the damage anyway, but you can release the Buster and that'll kill him. And you just want to just climb your way out. So I'm going to play this a couple of times to see how it shows. So 1, 2, 3, start your Buster Charge. You can either bonk on him or release the charge. Either way is fine. But either way, you want to recharge your Buster if you do release your charge for the setup for the Buster Duel. So I'm going to stop the video there, and we'll cover the setup for the Buster Duel. As you approach the door, so after you release the Buster or you bonk, whichever one you want to do. So you want to prepare a double charge. So you want to get to the pink level, and as shown, you just want to dash off the top of the volcano. You'll land on the first pipe section. You'll dash off again, and then you'll actually, if you keep holding right, you'll go right into the door. But you want to try to release your first charge just before touching the door. You don't want to do it too early, or you won't get this glitch that I'm about to explain. What you want to prepare is a neon switch for. It's basically only important for the section between the doors. It's not very important for beginners, but if you're high level, this neon switch will save you some frames. So as you dash off, you want to release the first charge just before touching the door. And what that does, it puts X in a glitch state to where the game thinks he has fired both of his charge shots, but since you didn't fire the second neon shot, it's stored. And also, since the game thinks you fired both of your shots, it allows you to actually switch weapons without losing your second neon shot. And that's important for the shutter. That's the section between the two doors. So here's how that works. See, I released it, and you see as the game stops, or the screen pauses and the door opens, you see X's arm is back. That is a visual cue to let you know that you got the neon switch. If he fires the Buster as the screen transitions, that doesn't matter. But if you release the Buster late and he already flings his Buster forward before you touch the door, you won't get the glitch. So this is the key pose that you're looking for when you touch the door. This will apply in a couple other stages later. But this is the first instance of neon switching. But you really use it to swap to a weapon. So this is the pose. Now as you see, I'm on strike chain, and I'm still flashing from the neon shot that is stored. And if you manage to get the neon switch, it allows you to switch to chain for a moment, and you can actually chain the door and it will pull you closer to it, which will save you some frames. And once you grab the door, you can try to swap back to X-Buster before touching the door. Now, if you fail to swap to X-Buster, it doesn't really matter because there's a backup here when the fight begins to get to X-Buster for the Buster Duel. You can practice this on the opposite door, like if you want to practice it once you know that you've got the neon glitch. Also, pausing the game does not erase the glitch. You can switch to any weapon during the pause menu, and you'll still have the glitch when you come back to gameplay. So, coming up for the Buster Duel, I'm going to let the Buster Duel play out, and then I'll explain it in parts. This is a standard Buster Duel with no good RNG. The basic concept of fighting still applies. You want to hit him, you want to keep him in iframes as much as possible. So, you notice the very first thing that he's actually showing a little bit of a charge, because you can actually recharge your first Buster shot while you're storing the second when you do this glitch. Well, it's not necessarily you can do it during the glitch, but if you're holding charge when you come out through a door, the game thinks you're charging up still, but it doesn't recognize that you've already shot your second neon. And that'll come into play in Magnus Centipede. But for right here, when the battle begins, as soon as the meter fills, you're going to hear a pause in the music. And before the fight begins, that changes the music, and that's also a buffer point where you want to buffer a jump. And then as soon as Stag is jumping towards you, you want to fire the second neon into Stag, and then as soon as you get hit, hold left against the wall. And then after that, wait a moment, dash jump off, and then you want to fire the Buster shot into Stag, and it's a dash shot, and then he'll come back down. And this is the OVA fight method. He came up with a way to make the fight easier to execute, and also this actually allows Stag to do the faster RNG attacks that allows you to get more hits on him. But the standard method, you just want to hold against the wall, let him run into you so you don't fall off, and then you just want to keep dash shotting him at every opportunity. And if you notice that he's always jumping up onto the left wall, and when he comes down, he always comes down on the right. So you just want to stay to the left of him, and you can keep this pattern going. And right there, as you see, I tapped against the wall. That keeps X out of the grab range of Stag when he turns blue, because if he grabs you, he can actually pile drive you, and that could be bad. And you'll lose time in the fight. But it's just a series of damage boosting and holding against the wall so you don't take any knockback. So once Stag is under him, or once Stag is under you, just slide down onto him to take damage, and you'll hold against the wall so you don't get knocked back, and you just shoot. So I'm going to play the fight one more time in its entirety, and then I'm going to go over a good RNG fight. As you see, just don't follow him climbing, because if you try to follow him, he's just going to come even more, and you don't want that. You just want to stay low and just let him come back to you. So now I'm going to show... Oh, I'm going to show the failed neon switch. So this is what happens when you fail it. When you try to do the swap, you lose your neon right there. So if he's already thrusting his Buster forward when you're into the door, you release it too early. So to set up for the Buster Duel, you have to swap and release the first charge into this door, or just wait till the fight begins. But I just wanted to show that real quick while I had an opportunity to change videos. So here is the good Stag fight. Let me bring it up here. Okay, here we go. Now, for every time Stag comes back to the ground, he actually has a chance to throw fireballs at you, like right here. And that actually, he resets his iframes when he does that. That allows you to get more hits on him quicker. So that's why the OVA strat is a little bit more better than the old climbing duel, which I'll show that also, just to show the difference. As you see, he's already into the blue phase very, very quickly. See, you're getting hits a lot faster. So the more, and see right there, that's what happens if you're too low on Stag. And he can actually grab you when he rushes you. He can actually do fireballs multiple times in a row. I think in one of my fights, he did it 4 times in a row, and he died super fast. So, so if you get no fireballs, it's the worst possible scenario, but you can get really lucky sometimes. But don't expect it. You can anticipate it, but don't expect it. Now here's the climbing Buster Duel. This is the old Buster Duel. And you'll see a noticeable difference. You can get hits on him constantly, but there's no chance of an iframe reset when he reaches the ground almost, because he's only on the ground for 2 times. But if you do the other Buster Duel, he can touch the ground multiple times, and he can give you more chances for a fireball RNG. Let me play that again. But this is the old Buster Duel. Some runners still do it, but I think a lot of them, if not all of them, are starting to transition to the simpler Buster Duel without climbing the walls. And also, as you fall, getting the dash shots on him is hard to time also, because he descends faster than he climbs. So there's only one more video I want to show before this tutorial's done, and that is the backup for the sub-tank. If you fail to get the charge chain to get to the sub-tank, there's a backup. If the B-tron spawned as you climb, you can hop on its platform, because it will follow you up since it tries to chase you down and try to ram you like that. That was a fluke that I just landed on it. You can actually do a dash jump off and approximate exactly where he's going to land. And then you can just ride the B-tron up to grab the sub-tank. If the B-tron does not spawn when you climb, you do not have this option. So you want to make sure that you get the strike chain off. Otherwise, you have to wait and recharge, and that loses about 3 seconds. But this is a good race strat if you ever do a race and you miss the chain. This is a good backup. But just remember, if the B-tron is not there, you can't do this. Because the spawning point for him to appear is at the bottom of the climb. It's not anywhere else on the stage. And that's basically Flame Stag.